Howdy, my name's Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about an issue that often goes unnoticed in professional sports, which is that of mental health. So, athletes struggle with mental health at a rate similar to that of the general population, and yet, because of its stigma and just lack of understanding about mental health, it often goes untreated for these athletes. So, the first thing we want to talk about is the unique mental challenges athletes face. One of these examples is the yips, which is common in baseball, softball, golf. One of the most frequent or recent examples is Daniel Bard, who is a pitcher for the Rockies. He's their star closer, but he has not always been this star. So coming out of college, he had a normal 3.14 walks per nine, and yet once he got to the big leagues, under the bright lights, even just in the minors in the rookie league, his walks per nine automatically jumped up to like 19. And then eventually he was able to get it under control after his first year in the minors, and ended up being called up about 3 years later and became one of the premier relievers in baseball. But eventually he lost control again, suffering from the yips. In 2011, after having 3 years of all-star like reliever seasons, he began to suffer from control, giving up tons of walks, wild pitches, hit by pitches, everything like that. And he just couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So he was sent down to the minor leagues, where eventually he was called up again in 2013 for about a week, and then he was sent back down again. And from like 2013 to 2017, his walks per nine rate was an absurd 42.4 or something like that. And this ultimately led him to retire from baseball, which was very unfortunate. But that's just something that you don't really see. He says in an interview that there was something as natural as walking for him just became extremely difficult. This was a guy that dedicated 20 years of his life to pitching. So to start getting rocked or something like that is one thing, but to completely forget how to pitch, and not be able to throw a strike at all is completely different. And this just shows that athletes struggle with mental issues that are just very unique. You don't see a lawyer forgetting how to do the law, or like a teacher forgetting how to teach or something like that. That just doesn't happen. And there are so many examples of this. Like Rick Ankiel was a major league pitcher and eventually had to change to shortstop, because he couldn't figure out how to throw a strike, but he was perfectly fine throwing from shortstop to first base. So it's just very unique mental challenges that they're under, and the stress of being a professional athlete leads to battles with mental health that the general public wouldn't even have to think about. So for many of these athletes, their competition serves as their outlet for stress and anxiety, but this can be taken away very fast. As we saw with COVID-19 and the bubble, the ability to take away sports can just come like that, whether it be through a pandemic like this, or through a serious injury that just ends your career, or just one day not being able to produce the same way that you used to produce on the field. So this creates high stress levels in athletes that most other people don't have to worry about. Most people are able to retire whenever they're like 65, whenever they have their retirement, whenever they have their pension ready. But for many of these athletes, it comes just suddenly, whether it be overnight or through like a year or so, just in the prime of their lives, from like 25 to 35, they're forced to give up the thing that they love the most, and what brings them the money to provide for their families and everything like that. So this just creates many coping strategies in different athletes, like eating disorders, substance abuse, and sleep disturbances. And another challenge athletes face is the stigma around speaking out about mental health. This is very frequent, especially on social media. Athletes are often speaking out about mental health more recently, but often you see in the comments people will call them soft, say they're getting paid millions of dollars to play this sport. Why could they be sad or depressed or whatever it may be? But the just loneliness that comes with the travel and relocation of sports can be extremely exhausting for these players. And so to not be able to speak up about it because they know they're going to get scrutinized in the media is extremely difficult. And a study showed that male college athletes tended to negatively view their peers who seek help from therapists, and even general college students tended to stigmatize male athletes seeking assistance for performance-related struggles. So it's clear that professional athletes face immense pressures and barriers when it comes to their mental well-being, but we as fans can make a difference. We need to do a better job of supporting athletes who are speaking up about mental health, and teams should prioritize regular mental evaluations and have licensed therapists on staff. It's time to break the stigma, raise awareness, and ensure that our beloved athletes receive the support they need to thrive both on and off the field. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.